One question I always get asked is, are home prices in Austin still dropping? Let's talk about it. Austin has been on a roller coaster of the past couple years. And today we are going to be looking at the data and exactly what prices have been doing since pre-pandemic up until now. I'm recording this in January of 2025. We'll be looking at what prices have done in the past, what we can expect them to do over the next, 1 to 2 years, and we'll just jump right into it. So this is data from Texas A&M about median sales price in the Austin area. And the first thing I wanted to explain is kind of just the interesting looking graph. This is month per year on the x-axis, and then each year is a different color. So things are kind of stacked on top of each other. So you can see down here, 2019, 2020 are red and blue. And then, obviously they're somewhat the same. And then 2021 is an orange, and it just took off. So we're primarily going to be looking at 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. So just wanted to show pre-pandemic things were kind of, slow. And if you even go back further, it's, very condensed. And then we had the big bump up during COVID. So what happened during COVID is, there's big economic worries. So the government lowered interest rates to extremely low levels that they've never been before. So the government started printing a bunch of money, people had low interest rates, and people wanted bigger homes. So people started moving. They didn't have to be tied down to their jobs anymore. So a ton of people were relocating throughout the country. What I've heard a lot of people say is basically there's so many people that move every single year to various parts around the country, moving from one city to another. And COVID kind of accelerated that, where maybe there was like a 5-year group of people that were probably going to move, within the next 5 years. And then that all jumped into the year 2020 or 2021. So it really accelerated people relocating and buying new homes and buying new cars, and because it was just so cheap to do it. So because of that, demand shot up, and then prices ended up shooting up. Austin was one of the leading cities in terms of home price appreciation. So we had the highest price increases. We also had the highest price decreases, once things started to normalize again. So you can definitely see that here. Here is, May of 2022, 550,000. And if you go to the next year, which is 2023 in blue, 463,000. And so it dropped $90,000 in 1 year. So that's roughly 20%. So Austin had a huge run up, had a huge run down, and a crash. And typically when people describe a crash, like a stock market crash or a real estate crash, we're talking about price decreases of 20% or more. Parts of the US did not experience a crash. I have friends in, upstate New York, and they said there's been no crash. Prices are actually still up year over year. Places like Austin, definitely that we saw a huge run up. We fell the farthest. So here's what prices are doing now. So like I said, things kind of peaked in 2022, April, May, and then it dropped back down drastically. And then if we remove that, here's 2023 and 2024. So here, if you're looking at the median price, yes, it's jumping around quite a bit, but it's staying somewhat consistent. It's jumping around. It's a little bit variable, but the majority of them are within the same price point, just right around that $450,000 mark. So prices have been hovering around this $450,000 mark since the beginning of 2023. So at this point, it's been 24 months, because now I'm filming this in January of 2025. So for all of 2023 and 2024, prices have really stabilized. Even if you go back, you can, just December of 2022, you're going to see it hitting that $450,000 mark. And then it's just kind of hovering. One thing I also wanted to talk about, other than median price, is inventory. And this is going to tell you the same story, just in a different way. So inventory, put simply, when inventory is low, prices went up. When inventory is high, prices are coming down. So you can see here in 2021, we had really low inventory. Prices went up. In 2022, right here is where prices peaked. You can see inventory starting to creep up again. So let's remove that. And now we're just looking at 2023 and 2024. So inventory has increased a lot, compared to 2021, where it's 1 month of inventory. And to put that in perspective, a healthy real estate market is 4 to 6 months of inventory. So 1 month is extremely unhealthy. There's too low. Things are just flying off the shelf, it's not good. And you can see here in, really in 2024, we're starting to see higher inventory. Prices are stabilizing. Even in 2023, when we were looking at the prices, basically the whole year, the prices were very close to actually 2024 prices. So inventory has stabilized, prices have stabilized, and I think that the worst is behind us. So I personally think that the 20% dip in housing prices in Austin has already come and gone. That happened when interest rates went from 2% to 7%. And now, we've lived with interest rates at 6, 7, 8% for 2.5 years at this point, and prices are flat. We haven't seen any price appreciation over the past 2 years, and I personally don't see another crash coming. I don't think we're going to drop 20% from where we are now. So at this point, I think we've kind of hit the bottom. We're kind of just staying here until something changes. And that something change might be higher interest rates. If interest rates go up more, then price will come back down again. If interest rates go down, maybe prices will go back up. I don't know what interest rates will do, but I think that's the indicator of where home prices will go. So really what I think will happen, and again, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't foresee. I'm just looking at a bunch of different data points and kind of coming up with my own conclusion. I think interest rates will stay high for 2025 and 2026, and we're going to see no home price appreciation. So, it'll vary a little bit, but I don't think that we're going to see a dip in interest rates or a huge increase. I think it'll hover around where we've been sitting, which is 5, 6, or 7%. So yeah, I don't think the crash is coming. I think we already had it, and we're still recovering from that crash. So now it's just, what do you think is going to happen in the next couple of years? So if you have any thoughts, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching and listening to my ramble. I'll catch you in the next one.